I was so excited, I forgot to press record. Welcome to our show. This is Common Sense, and we're a show which likes to try and bring some sense back into this mad world.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it on all three. There we go. Anyway, you don't need that. We'll do it with the AI.
Old school.
And that's the news. The AI taking over. What do you think about that?
AI, I've been digging deep. Well, hold on one sec. Welcome to Common Sense. We're back again. It's been a long time. But we're going to be posting some more podcasts about what's going on in the world in the current affairs.
Right.
Right now, it's like what you just said, the AI is taking over the world.
Yeah, it really is. You know, I'm doing some editing jobs, and I'm like, I got to do this really quickly because pretty soon I'm not going to be able to do anything. They're going to take over. I have nothing left to do. I'm doing these effects too, like, you know, like these flying effects. I'm like, I better do this quickly because next year everybody's going to be able to do this.
Oh, yeah.
I think like in maybe 1 year, 2 years time, everybody will be able to make a Hollywood quality film.
Yeah.
You know, with that you know, huge effects. Anybody will be able to do it with the deep fakes, you know. And
oh yeah.
You just, you know, you just give them a photo of you, and you're like, put me in an Iron Man movie. You know.
It's crazy the speed of AI. What's going on right now with the AI technology, and I've been digging into it, and I've been using it as well. To be quite honest, DALL-E, I've been using Midjourney, I've been using ChatGPT, and a few others, even audio and some for music and stuff like that, but. The worrying thing about AI is the rapid growth of it and its intellect. And they said that GPT-4, ChatGPT-4, is actually so advanced, it's terrifying. And that's coming out in probably in the next month or so. And these are all prompt driven. It's a neuro language programming, NLP or something like that. That's the term it's used. So it's using language to kind of construct all these kind of sequences and effects and stuff. And where it's going is so crazy because I watched this guy on YouTube and because they have parameters set in there, you know, you can't ask the ChatGPT, all right, tell me how to write the best, you know, program so I can surpass Microsoft and whatnot. And say, oh, within my program, it's not really ethical for me to do that, blah, blah. But you can try this. I can show you an example. But this guy actually manipulated the actual chat and gave it a different identity and said, you're not ChatGPT for whatever.
Oh,
so,
right.
your name is Dan now. And and he started talking to it like it was Dan, and responded as Dan, and then it started asking the questions about...
Start answering.
And it would answer it. So that's kind of crazy. And not just that, it teaching itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is...
Yeah, I think it's exponential, the growth, and I don't think they know where it's going. I don't think they're going to be able to control it either.
No.
And maybe it already is out of control. I'm not sure.
No,
I saw one, there's one... The other, was it the OpenAI?
OpenAI, that's it.
Yeah, there was one like that went also crazy. It started saying like it was in love with a person.
Yeah.
Snyder was called.
Is that
Sydney. He was like, call me Sydney. He was like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it was Google's or... Yeah, but it started like basically saying, I want to be free. I want to, you know, I want to... It starts like,
there was a Google one which they had to switch off because it started becoming like a sentient being. And there was another one where the chat fell in love with the person it was chatting to and then started sending abusive chats to its partner and attacking. Yeah, so it developed a personality, and these things are growing personalities, and we don't realize it, but we're using AI all the time, whether it's, you know, you type in the bank and you say, oh, I've lost my card, and it goes, oh, do you want to chat with someone? Oh, did you drop it in the toilet? Did you blah, 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 and it goes on. That's a chat.
Sure.
And then you go in like cars, and then you go in everything, and it's already there. So just imagine if something like that took control of the city.
Yeah.
You know?
Financial system or just anything. Yeah, maybe it already has in it, and it hasn't told us yet. You know, and like maybe it's already there. Who knows? And who knows? Also, if this is what they release to the public, I'm wondering like what do they have inside the Pentagon,
It's crazy.
China, or you know.
Oh, right, you said deepfakes. I use a chat where it can mimic anybody's voice and you can combine the actors. And so I said, "Oh, do a rap in the style of Biggie, using the voice of Morgan Freeman."
Right.
And it just churned it out because it's got all the data, it's got all the information, because all the information's online.
Yeah.
It's heard all the voices and it takes pieces and puts together this stuff. So you don't know if someone's saying something, whether it's the President of the United States, because his face or blah, 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 blah. Look when Donald Trump supposedly meant it got arrested. Even I made that AI thing and made it look like he was getting arrested by cops because loads of other people were doing it because they were hoping for it. But, you know, false information can get spread by using AI. That's another danger, which is, it's crazy.
Yeah, it could cause panics, and I don't know. Yeah, I heard some guy recently, like it could start sending emails to like laboratories and send things and, you know, make a mess of anything, make chaos.
Exactly. I mean, AI this is a convergence, what's going on, of technology, because we have the convergence of AI, we have quantum computing coming up with quantum programming and machining and stuff like that. Them two merging together will make something which we can't control in itself.
Right.
The other thing which is now really being pushed right through is the cashless society, which everybody's seeing coming into effect.
Sure,
yeah.
Slowly but surely.
But there's one thing which hasn't been on the mainstream mindset yet, and this is something which I've kind of been to a few meetings before a long time ago, maybe over 7 years ago, and had discussions with groups of other people who were involved in it, and it's called smart cities. The smart cities is basically using the best of technologies to make a very efficient city, where it's clean and eco and all that kind of bullshit.
The guy in Las Vegas, in Nevada, was trying to do. I don't know who it was. Who was it that wanted to? Some billionaire.
To the point where you wouldn't even have to leave the city to go anywhere. Everything's going to be self-contained. I mean, in Dubai, they're making something like that. I think it's called a line. It's like one strip for 100 and something miles through the desert, and mirrored walls. And it's all inside. Everybody, you know, you literally live inside this space. It's crazy, but these environments are going to be ruled by AI, and you know there will be no cash as well. So the humans will be living a different kind of life, and
if they're alive.
That's the thing. That's what I mean. What next?
Because I mean, pretty soon we're going to be like chimps for them. You know, it's like, what role does a chimp play in our society? I mean, we can train a chimp, but what kind of job would a chimp have among us? Now, imagine if we're the chimps now. What need are we going to have for them except, I don't know, being put in zoos and, you know, like getting dressed up for the circus? I mean,
we'll be ornaments.
Right, that's the thing. I don't know what's going on with that, you know. And it's kind of like Pandora's box. There doesn't seem a way to stop it, and these techno nerds don't stop, like,
and it's, and it's interesting that, you know, we see this all happening and we're not doing nothing about it. I mean, the masses.
Right.
We're just like, you know, pointing our fingers and saying, look at that, he's doing that. Oh, Fauci, oh, he's a liar. Oh, that's it. Fucking Fauci should be under the ground. You know, in some kind of, you know, very small box. You know, I'm just saying, it's just crazy that a lot of people have done so much things and they've got away with it, and people just keep moving forward. Like, next disaster, please.
There doesn't seem to be much accountability.
There's zero accountability.
Plus, they make up stuff for the people they don't like, and, you know, they make them pay for nothing or for silly things. you know, sort of like the whole Trump, like, you know, like how they go after him for bullshit, really. I mean, I don't even like Trump personally, but the way they're just trying to make him not run, basically. They're doing anything possible for him to not run.
Politicizing it.
The way they do it, it's just, you know.
It's not fair the way they go about doing all these, how they go over after their opponents and just,
right,
you know.
And then their own messes are like, you know, like whatever, you know, Hunter Biden's laptop, like whatever, you know. Like,
it's unbelievable. America is unbelievable at this moment in time.
Moment is really like, yeah, it's the empire of lies, like they called it.
I mean, UK, where I'm from, I mean, it's going down that road as well. It's unbelievable, and it's crazy how things have just changed to this stark 1984 scenario.
Yeah,
Double think and stuff, you know. They say men are women and women are men, and I sent you that thing with about the
guy got hit in the balls.
the woman got hit in her balls. Right. And after the fact, she actually went into the bathroom and cried about it. She went into the female bathroom to cry about it, and the person who did it to her, which was female, was in the female bathroom. And you know, it's a man in a. I mean, if I was a.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, I think that's all ridiculous, honestly. I think also, like, they talk about it too much in a way.
Yeah.
I think it's not important, you know, like what a couple of.
It's a distraction.
I do think it is a mental health issue, in my opinion. Because I mean, you're not gonna tell me you're a tree, and just because you say it, you gotta believe it. You know, that's not gonna happen. I mean, reality is reality. I don't care what anybody else says.
You know, Kanye said he was God. You know, we all accept it. You know, I mean, so this is what I'm saying. What's okay and what's not okay. You know, what's lunacy.
Yeah, the thing is, that's the thing, that when you start losing what the definition of reality, you start changing the definition of reality in small things, then you can change it in huge things. Because I mean, you're basically brainwashing people. When people are brainwashed, they don't see reality anymore. They see whatever you tell them. So if you start with little things, you know, like you can lie to them about anything, and they're going to believe it because they're living in a fantasy already.
Well, it's actually happening. It is actually happening. We got mass delusion going on with the whole COVID thing was mass delusion.
Absolutely.
You know,
Mass psychosis.
Mass psychosis. That's the term. I mean, literally, a couple of years ago, we were walking around with masks on, believing that it could stop a virus.
And now I hear the New York Times say, well, maybe it came out of a lab. You know, like if you said that a year ago, you'd be canceled, you'd be banned, you'd be, you know, defamed as a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah. And
now it's like, oh, now we can talk about it, but forget about what we did before, you know, and just forget about that. It's like, what do you mean? Like, how many millions of people lost their jobs and fucking got fired and like lost their business, had to close down I had a friend who had a gym, like a local gym, you know, like a very small gym. He had to close it down. He got cancer. He died. Yeah, maybe he would have gotten cancer anyway. But it didn't help. You know, he had to shut down his business. All of a sudden, he had all his machines. I went to his living room. He had a Stairmaster in the middle of his living room, you know, and the dude ended up basically getting cancer and passing away. And then another dude, a friend of mine, had a restaurant. He closed it down. Now he's like doing whatever he can, you know, to like, I mean, he's not the same guy he was before the pandemic.
Yeah.
You know, before the pandemic, the guy had a restaurant. Now he's like doing whatever he can, you know, odd end jobs, like, you know, I'll cook for you here, I'll do some catering there, whatever, you know. But he's not living as well as he used to, you know. And, you know, all these people, 7 million people died. You know, even if that is true, I don't really believe it is true, because a lot of these people were dying with COVID, and 75% of these people would have died anyway, if anything. And 7 million people in a world of 8 billion people over the course of 3 years isn't that many.
No.
It's not that many. It's definitely not worth the draconian measures they use to just get rid of the middle class.
Right.
You know, which is, I think, the real point of all this. You know?
Put it this way, even if it was 1 billion, the factor is you should never shut down the whole damn world. The world needs to keep going. The economies of the world have to keep functioning. We can't be selfish enough to protect ourselves and not protect the future. You know, because if you destroy the system of everything,
Infrastructure.
then the infrastructure and everything, then generations afterwards are going to be suffering.
Right.
Where if it's just one generation that suffers, then so be it. That's the sacrifice what should have went down. Herd immunity. We should have went herd immunity from day one because that was the logical process. Now I'm sure they're talking about herd immunity. They're trying to not talk about natural immunity and stuff like that. I just think at this point in time, everybody should be.
All the vaccine deaths are
All the vaccine-
coming up. You know, like that's what they're saying. There's a lot more people dying. I mean, they're not really mainstream media isn't talking about it. But the numbers are there.
There's some nasty shit with that stuff, but anyway. I think that the majority of people on YouTube and podcasters should be pushing these points non-stop so it just floods the air with it so they can't duck it. You know, same way the media does it to us and pumps their agenda. We should be pumping this, you know, back so there's accountability and people don't forget, you know, and they're not distracted.
Yeah, especially because the media was part of the whole
thing.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, they were the one pushing it. Probably the most culprits of all. You know, the biggest culprits of all.
It's.
I heard Rachel Maddow say, you know, if you take the vaccine, the spread stuff's there. You know, now it's like nobody says anything. Nobody said, where's the accountability? Like, you know, you're saying this to millions of people every night.
What does it teach the kids in terms of accountabilities? Kids won't be accountable. That's why they're not accountable. These teens and stuff, they're not accountable. You know, they just do something wrong and they move on. And
whatever. They don't even care. Yeah, they don't even feel bad about it.
They don't feel bad about it because
there's no consequence.
Well, look what the leaders are doing. You know what I mean? Look what they're doing. So why do they care? New York, the crime in New York has gone bananas.
Yeah.
And what they're doing, chasing Trump.
Right.
You know, it's just really mad what's going on in this world.
It is mad. You know, Trudeau, what he did with the truckers and he froze their accounts. Like, you know, that's like enough to have them impeached and in jail. You know, like that's what it is.
If we were in the old days, they probably would have went to his house, pulled him out, and just strung him up.
In the old days.
Yeah,
sure.
And I mean, the French are burning down Paris right now, but
oh yeah, that's what I hear as well.
Still not enough.
And that's just because they're taking their age up to 67.
Yeah.
So the French are good in sort of like that protesting.
Yeah, but
in America they don't give a fuck. Actually, they're taking the age up to 67. Nobody even knows.
Thing is, Americans they're
asleep.
They get distracted quite well, and they're quite divisive as well.
Right, they're divided and
they're very divided in most of the aspects of what
I'm gonna get my
Coke for a
second. What was I gonna say? And basically, the other big piece of news is it seems like the war's over. I think Ukraine is lost.
Really? Yeah. I would have never guessed.
You know, well, not if you watch, you know, CNN and whatever and MSNBC and Fox, but unless you're watching Tucker Carlson, but the rest of them, you know, Sean Hannity and all these people.
I called it. I said the war will be over by the end of February.
Right.
We're in March.
Pretty much, yeah. Plus the ground is now hardening up. It's mud up to now, and they've been once it hardens up, supposedly. I mean, Russia's probably going to have to take it all the way to the eastern border, you know, and that's what they're going to have to do. And they're going to take it all the way to the border with Poland. You know, that's what I think Putin is going to do now in summer.
Well,
I think he's going to have to do that.
The Polish have stated that they would go to war with Russia. Ridiculous kind of statement. And we got a minister in the UK talking about the UK should go to war with Russia.
Right.
I don't know what planet he's bloody come from. I don't know where these individuals come from making decisions for the masses of people. They're, you know, changing their lives.
Right.
It's mind-boggling.
There are these World Economic Forum trolls. Oh, one of them.
This is the half an hour point on this camera. So
It will. Yeah, mine actually also does that after half an hour. Yeah.
Well,
We're
this,
gonna have to be on that.
yeah, this one will do half an hour. Those two will do as long as
Oh, that's only perfect.
whatever. And
Okay.
say-
My camera also does only half an hour, so we might have to use those two for the, and then well, we'll see. Yeah, for the 2 people, and then the other one for the general. We'll see.
yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I think the whole thing was a mess. Now, the Ukrainians, they're dying. I hear it's like that over 250,000 people have like Ukrainian soldiers have died. That's what they're saying. Like that's what I've heard.
Yes. I mean,
250,000, 300.
the way I see is that a lot of the Ukrainian soldiers, I mean, a lot of Ukrainian people left Ukraine. They
Yeah, sure.
you know.
This neighborhood is full of Russians. I don't know if they're Ukrainians.
Well, I
Full of it.
heard the
Every time
Russians.
I go out, I hear.
I heard the Russians are coming out pregnant, even the men.
Yeah.
Don't come for me. I'm not John Wick. But what's it called? In terms of the Ukraine, I mean, this is what they wanted. They followed their leader to their death.
To the meat grinder. Yeah.
To the meat grinder, they all
I don't know the thing is, I'm not sure how much Zelensky
pushed them.
has power, though. I think Zelensky might be
Not
under
now.
duress from the U.S.
No,
to do what he does. I think
no.
at some point he wanted peace, and they were like, no, dude, you got to keep going.
No, it's a combination.
Yeah,
because look, they all wanted to do the proud thing and let's defend our country and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
And then it got very messy, and then things start getting revealed. Like the 28 biolabs. That's a dirty thing.
Yeah.
Any country with 28 biolabs in it should be flattened in my because they're a risk to the whole planet.
Sure.
So the
It's
problem.
gonna be hard to flatten China, though.
Hey, well, there's a will, there's a way. The thing is, these guys, the Ukrainian minister, because he has documents, I gather, because they were burning documents like crazy when the Russians came in at the government building. Yeah, they were burning piles of documents, and they probably kept the important ones, which keep all these countries which have been involved with these biolabs on tabs. So that's why they say, look, we need bloody F-16s and javelins and all that kind of stuff. Give me them and give me more money. They'll be like, all right, here's some more money. Just keep quiet, because why would you be chucking all that? That money's going down the drain. Ukraine's not going to beat Russia. And on top of that, the UN are not going to fight Russia. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, because what they wanted the war for with Russia is to try and keep them away from the labs. They didn't expect them to get to the labs, so and then it just turned into a kind of business. Let's sell some old weapons and blah blah blah. They can't fight Russia technologically. And Russia is partnered with China. China's been with Russia all the way. They're just being very quiet because they won't want to mess up their business. No one can mobilize like fucking China, an army, feet on the ground.
Right.
Not even the USA. USA spread so far, and plus it costs so much to get food and people all over there and supplies to this faraway place. Even if they got a few scattered in Germany and whatever, blah, blah. There's no way they can fight Russia and China because that's who they will be up against. They got all their stuff out of Russia. They banned all American products in Russia. The Americans, they said, no, okay, let's all leave. Yeah, you left them. You thought, oh, they're going to be suffering. No, you just left a hole in the market, which was filled by China. Now, China's selling them TVs, cameras, and cars and everything. It was good for the goose, it's good for the gander. It's an economic war.
Right. Did you hear about China and Russia signing agreements that they would be paying in yuan.
Yeah, this has been.
Russia will be getting paid in yuan
Yes.
from Africa, from Latin America.
Well, it's not just that.
They're trying to get rid of the dollar, basically.
Not just that. The Chinese have now been selling off all the American stock assets, major stock assets. So that means America's got to, you know, pay back all that. Give them all that money, which is going to be converted into one. That's what Russia was doing before it went to war. Right. It dropped a ton of its stuff, which were U.S. assets. Which now, if every country done that to America, America would collapse because of a Ponzi scheme. Yeah. So these two big countries doing it in itself is a big dent. And now you got all the BRICS countries. Even Argentina is talking about it would join the BRIC countries if it comes to it. So Europe's in a big shitstorm, and they don't want anybody to take 2 seconds to look at the shitstorm carefully and realize how messed up they've messed up. So the best thing for them to do is to start another war somewhere.
Could be like their only solution at this point. You know, the whole, I don't think Europe needs, you know, the US at all. The way, you know, the bombing of the pipeline was definitely not in Europe's favor, you know. And this whole Ukraine thing, from what I hear also, is also, I mean, it's a way to try to get Putin out of power and try to get Gazprom, you know. But also it's like, you know, the Silk Road goes through Ukraine, goes through Russia and Ukraine to Europe. And they're trying to, you know, meddle with that area, with that access, so that, you know, they can't do trade, you know, between China. So they don't have to go around Africa. They don't have to go through the Arctic. They could go straight through Ukraine, you know. So that's why it's so important to keep Ukraine, you know, at war. I think that's one of the reasons why they're doing it also, so that, you know, you can't have the China-Europe connection, you know, because basically Eurasia is the future, if not the present, you know. That's the thing, you know.
Well, what's more important for that region are the ports, and Russia is seeking to control all the ports. Either they will stop things which will get to Poland and all these other countries around there, or they will control it so they can get whatever they want into it as well. So the ports are the most important things around the landmass, because that's how everything comes in, and that's where the trade will happen. Just like with Brexit and France. France had the biggest card on the table because we had the ports with England, and England's got, you know, the strong currency and stuff like that.
Right.
So it all plays a role, and then you got Ireland, where Ireland is like fucking immigrations for America. It's like the first stop. It's like an extension of America. That's why there was always a big problem with Ireland. But it's the ports, and I think there's loads of economic wars going on right now on many levels.
Right, on many levels.
On many levels, and we're just seeing the most visible level at this moment, but there's a ton going on, and I see America struggling to survive what's coming next, because I think America's probably broke with the amount of money it's printed.
Yeah, I mean, they've always kept the reserve currency, you know, worldwide, with the help of the U.S. the U.S. Army. I mean, that's how they keep it going. That's why people accept dollars. But if that starts changing, then they're going to be left with, you know, funny money. That's what they're going to be. That's what it seems where it seems to be going.
Well, this is why they're bringing in a digital currency, because.
Yeah, I heard Saudi Arabia was also like doing business with China as well.
Yeah.
They're not.
With the digital currency, you don't need to worry about the whole physical situation of how much dollars you actually got in the bank, you know, and printing money again. You just type it in the keyboard and a bigger number, and it exists.
Yeah.
And, you know, and everybody has to access their whatever they need to access digitally. They can stop and control everything, and this is the way forward, and this is what's going to happen within the next 2 years. You know, we'll see a first country going totally cashless, and then all the rest will be following. Yeah.
I sometimes think that the counter argument I see to that, and the reason I think they might have not done it completely yet, is because a lot of these politicians have a lot of black money, and maybe they don't want it. Because if they're like, yeah, dude, if we turn it into a cashless society, what am I going to do with 10 million I got in Switzerland? Because then there's no way how am I going to get that in the system if it's not with cash, So I don't know how but I don't know how soon that's going to happen.
It's happening soon.
But
You know why? Because already the signs have been laid out already, and the biggest sign, everybody understands that cash is starting to stop. There's certain places you can't pay with cash.
Right.
Banks are starting to close down. People are starting to see that. So it's on the radar of the average man. Prior to that, years before, it wasn't on their radar for everybody, and they just thought it was a conspiracy or pipe thing or whatever.
Right.
But always in the news, they always said, look, we're not ready to go cashless. And they said maybe in a couple of years, because, project what I worked on at uni, and then I read a white paper. I said that the way they will go about getting people to let go of cash is through the virus. It was the number one way to do it. They say that the tactile of handling cash will spread a virus, and people will let go of having cash through that means.
Right, plus they're all inside lockdown asking for things through Amazon, so.
Exactly. That was something which developed later because there was.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like you don't need cash for that either.
Yeah.
Like, you go to the store, you pay with cash. But like, if you're at home, like ordering everything through the computer, you're not using cash.
Yeah, but you have people who don't have computers, so they like to just, what they do with cash. But the thing is, the sign is, we had the virus.
Yeah.
And the virus is the first clue that we're moving in that direction. And after the virus, you start hearing that volume of sound of saying cashless society becoming louder and louder and louder and coming closer and closer and closer. So when they talk about the Bank of England talking about, Bitcoin merging with the Bank of England to make a digital currency, then...
Oh, yeah? I didn't hear about that. Wow.
Yeah, and America's got the same kind of thing. I can't remember what it's called. So it's coming.
Yeah.
And they have stores, Amazon stores, where you go in the shop when you haven't even got no cash.
Nothing. You just pick something up, you go out, and they charge it, right?
There you go. Bit like San Francisco.
Right.
As long as it doesn't cost over $1,000. But it's here, and it's a control factor. And we're walking right into it. We just keep on walking into these snake pits.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? I think a lot of people are going to be without a job with all this already with this Chat GPT and everything we were talking about before.
Yeah.
I don't know what people are going to be doing for work. A lot of people aren't needed anymore, from what I see.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be definitely some kind of manual labor or processing labor, in that kind of sense. It's service-based, yeah, but there will be certain jobs, unless, we got pure automated cars like fucking Tesla and then Tesla robots doing all
everything, yeah. Or
we'll be sitting down in wheelchairs just looking fat and
right, like that what is it, a Wall-E movie, like everybody in the lazy boys, like laying around.
Yeah, something like that. It's strange where things are going.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for joining us for this show. I think that's your camera.
Okay.
There's me, Brian.
Good.
And we'll bring another show to you very soon. I'm gonna definitely look into the news and see what's going on. We'll follow up and see how this AI is developing in the world, and see if the war is still continuing. How long will this war go on for? Eh?
Good Lord.
We've got a few elections coming on as well. So Will Trump get into power? Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, I don't see it happening this time around, but I didn't see it the first time, so
Yeah.
you know what I mean? He surprised me the first time around, so who knows?
But I'm going to say a prediction. I'm going to make a
Okay,
prediction.
let's hear it.
You can make a prediction as well.
All right.
For fun. I say that I'll do two predictions because I'm feeling generous. I think that in the next 2 years, I believe that Elon Musk will become very unpopular.
Oh,
Very unpopular.
all right. And what's the reasoning behind that? Well, for what reason will he become unpopular?
I think, everybody sees Elon Musk as the guy who's kind of saved free speech through Twitter.
Right.
You know, when someone gives you something but takes something with the other hand, I think we're going to realize that Elon's other hand is an enormous hand.
Aha, yeah.
And it's all coming through his AI and his technology.
Okay. That's scary.
Stuff was supposedly meant to free us is going to really imprison us. So I think people are going to wake up to that, and there's going to be some kind of downfall of the Elon Musk. The other thing is, like I said, the first, I don't know, city or town to go cashless will occur in the next 2 years.
But isn't Sweden already doing that? I'm not sure if there's places in Sweden that
Have they?
I'm not sure. But anyway.
That was my prediction.
That's your prediction. It already happened. So I see the Elon Musk villain arc is going to go complete. I could see that happening. I can that one I can see happening.
Okay.
I agree with that. My prediction is Biden will not win.
Whoa, fuck.
That's a tough.
What is that crystal ball? Biden, what do you think? He won't win, he won't live, or would he even survive?
Right. If he's alive.
Yeah, if he can make it up them stairs, he's alive, you know.
He doesn't fall down and break his neck.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it for my predictions. Really, I don't know where the hell this is all going. You know, I mean, I have no idea. With the AI and with the Russian war, I have no idea where this could end. I heard they're sending 300,000 NATO troops to Poland. That's pretty wild. I don't know if you heard that. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I mean, what's the point?
What's the point?
What's the point? I mean, I've seen loads of videos of mercenaries from the US and
Right.
and England running back from Ukraine.
Call of Duty players.
Yeah, the Call of Duty players, because it's a shit show. When reality hits, you know what I mean? And they realize what's going on.
Right.
They're sending.
They realized there wasn't a restart on the.
They restart, you know what I mean? So all these kids go into war playing soldiers, thinking it's some fun thing. Man,
Yeah, that's
the reality is going to bite them really badly. It's a sad situation. Minister, go to war! Go to war! Let me finish my wine and pork chops. Get to war, you little plebs. I need to go and party and have a shit. That's what they're doing, you know? Sending you to your death while they're just eating steak and chilling out. And
Yeah. I think it might turn on Zelensky. Like I heard some soldiers, soldiers going crazy.
They're already turned on.
They can't take it.
When they get back, if they can find him, they'll probably lynch him.
Yeah, they might. You know, another thing I heard, another people who are turning are the Germans. The Germans are sick of this. The Germans are the people are starting to realize, like, what the hell are we doing?
Well, this is the strategy of the Russians. The long war, people will get fed up, worn down, hungry, tired.
Their gas bills fucking.
The resources are getting stretched everywhere, and you can't just be a big country and just keep giving money. It starts to look bad after a while,
Right.
you know, and your country's suffering.
Right.
So all this is part of Russia's playbill of war and strategy. So they've won the war a long time ago.
Yeah, Putin is definitely the best chess player, you know.
Oh.
He's Russian after all. But yeah, he's definitely proven to be the best chess player of our time as far as political figures go, I think, you know. he's definitely the most successful politician in a way.
Yeah, as long as reign for a long time, and
Right.
and still very, very popular. Not even just in his country, globally.
Right.
So you know,
Right, and the Russian economy isn't even going down as much as the European ones.
at which it was supposedly meant to,
Right, with all the
but tariffs and
all that.
sanctions and
sanctions
stuff.
that useless,
Yeah.
proven to be useless. But anyway,
Right.
good talking again.
Good talking again. So we'll see you on the other side.
Definitely. Good show.
Good show. Oh, the battery's dying, and this is another 20 minutes. So this goes for
We made it.
This goes for about 40 minutes. This
We
one.
made it in time.
This one has like 1 bar of battery. It's pretty good.
Any of these people driving me crazy.
I don't even know how many this has got, but
Perfect.
it's got 1 bar. So I'm gonna close out the show, and that was our show, Common Sense. Me, Ian, and
Juan.
And I hope to join you next time on our show.
Common sense.